Hello, everyone. My name is Demetrius Mack, and welcome back to the Week 8 recap of NFL Fantasy Wrath League, folks. I'm joined today by our league defending champion and defending. He's a leader in the pack right now. I'm going to show you how far ahead in the pack he is in a quick second, but he's pretty far ahead of the pack, and I'm finally able to snag you on the show. Glad to have you here, man.
Good to be here too.
But we can just take a look at the end of the last show, folks. I showed you guys the standings. At the beginning of this show, I'm going to show you guys the standings once again so you guys can see the disparity amount in points. You see these points for it's 916. The next closest is at 765. And that is the fourth place team, the Murder Boners. The fourth place team, all right? Not the second or third, the fourth place team. And it's just a huge disparity. And you could even say you just get matchups, Dion, man. I mean, look at this. You have the lowest amount of points scored against you, 598. So I think, the stars are just aligning for you to succeed here. I'm not going to say it's some BS because I am jealous. But how are you feeling? Now we're halfway through the season now.
I'm feeling good. It's just, it is the matchups because Isaiah, he told me, he was like, yeah, man, you just keep getting these lucky matchups. I'm like, hey, you only can play against who you go against. So, hey, it happens. And I got lucky with Hunt.
You sure did. You chose right there, and you saw Deshaun Watson. Excuse me, the ascendance of Deshaun Watson coming, obviously, being, the Texas fan that you are, you believe in and hope and everything. So, we'll see how the rest of this, because you're just having it all. But let's go ahead and jump right now into the recap of what went down in frickin' Week 8, folks. So, folks, this is the first score. This is my score, a 70-64 outing. I was expecting a lot more points. I did not receive a lot more points, but I did receive a victory, which makes my third victory in 3 weeks, or second victory in 3 weeks, I should say. So I have started to climb back, slowly edge my way back. I have the same record as my hometown team, the Raiders, 3-5. So I guess the two may be intertwined. I don't know. But let's just take a look at what happened. Take a look at the simple box score here, as we always do. I lucked out. I really did. Because DeMarco Murray and Greg Olsen were obviously out. He didn't have a tight end or DeMarco Murray. If he probably had a DeMarco Murray, he probably would have ended up winning. And Antonio Brown, I was scared going into that Sunday night game because we were tied up. We were basically tied up, man. And I was watching, and I was like, if he goes off, it's over. Because Alex Smith is not going to go off versus Denver. Nice. So, thankfully for me, Antonio Brown was held to only 7 points. Without a touch. He got that touchdown called back. Because of the offense passing, which saved my butt. I was about to cry, Dion. He almost, like for real. It was bad. But taking a look at the players that played, my highest scoring was Alex Smith. As expected, I expect him to be every week. He's the number one fantasy quarterback in standard leagues on NFL.com. Yes, even over Deshaun Watson.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's still pushing number one. It just looks like this was just a nasty game, and I unfortunately came up on top. You look at the benches here, I left Marvin Jones on the bench. Could have had him in. I'm having him in this week versus Green Bay. By the way, folks, the time of this recording is Wednesday, so it is before the Thursday night game. Thursday night game has not happened. I don't think I've done a recording this year before the Thursday night game, but we'll get into the importance of the Thursday night game a little bit later because there is a very important thing that I want to address about the Thursday night game for this week, Week 9. And then we have just this absolute onpour of points, 140 to 120. Jesus Christ, what happened here? I mean, Deshaun Watson and LaShawn McCoy, that's all you needed. And Travis Kelce got 100-plus yards and a touchdown. And when that happens, you're probably going to win. And Melvin Gordon, When Kareem Hunt
defense.
Defense, yeah. Yeah, they put it on. I mean, but your defense got outscored. So, which is
I know,
crazy.
Right?
Yeah. They got outscored. So what are you really feeling now that you're halfway through, like your top players? How do you see them going through?
I truly think Deshaun Watson will be fine, bar injury. Please don't. feel like McCoy finally gotten his wheels going again. Hunt is hopefully going to pick him up. Wide receivers wise, please show up. Please show up. And then Kelsey and Gordon to keep doing your thing. I think I might need a new kicker, though. And then defenses, I just switch out all the time. So I feel good. It's just, every week it changes. So
that's true.
Yeah, we'll see.
Even though you can easily feel the most comfortable because you do have a lead on the league, you score points every week. You don't have a receiver, but you don't need one. You got to have an Achilles heel, Dion. You got to have one, all right?
Overthinking. That's what I do. I overthink a lot, though.
Because if you were to get, like, a super top-notch, like, healthy receiver, it'd be over with.
That's the plan.
That can't happen.
If anyone wants to trade,
I would trade, but, I got to take something from you. I got to take one of those running backs. Because, like I said, I got something. Possibly. I don't know. But on the other side with the murder bonus, it was Ezekiel Elliott. Is he going to be suspended this week? Is he not? I don't know. We'll get into that more. But speaking of his Week 8 performance, which could be his last performance for a while, 150 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He fumbled the ball. Oh, he would have got even more. I didn't see that. It was just a crazy performance to lose. I mean, when you score 120 points and you lose, that's gotta feel really, really bad, especially when you're fighting for the playoff spot. We'll get into a bunch of things of why this Week 8 was crazy a little bit later, and why Week 9 is so important. Nothing really to see here, folks. The fundraisers beat the holy dog piss out of Never Bowing Down. It was just nasty, just disappointment all around. Kamar was the best thing for Never Bowing Down, and the fundraisers finally got a really good DeAndre Hopkins performance. I mean, 220 G's. I didn't know he went off like that. That game was crazy. That Seattle.
That was a good game.
It was a crazy game.
I cried at the end, but it was a good game.
And Kai Forbath doing Alshon Jeffrey. The Ravens defense 29 points. I honestly knew it was over then. I was like, yeah, this is just week for him to win. 29 points from the defense. It's going down. And then on the bench, there was nothing that can help him. There was nothing. Even Thielen is just nothing. It is just defeat. And he's got to move on now. He drops to 5-3, and then 4-4 for the fundraisers. The commissioner turning things around here.
And that's who I lost to.
Isaiah's team and DeBalla's. So Isaiah's team getting the victory here. He moves on to 4-4, and Devon moving down to DeBalla's moving down to 2-6. The two notables here are the two Texans players who are playing really well. All the Texans players are suddenly playing really well. It's looking like they have the offense, and those are the offensive pieces that you want to go after now. Thought it was going to be Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, but with the injury to him, it's looking like everybody's staying far away from Green Bay. But over here, Russell Wilson putting up just a crazy amount of points, 35 points. We'll see how the rest of this season plays out for Isaiah. Because to be honest, LeGarrette Blount getting 11 points. We don't know how much activity he's going to see with the new trades of Jay Ajayi. And even on the other side, we don't know the value of Kelvin Benjamin in the Buffalo Bills offense. I mean, I'd imagine since they traded for him because they desperately needed receivers because their receiver core was one of the worst in the league. We'll see how he does in that system. I'm sure he's going to be T-Mobile's favorite target. So, I think that's a good trade for them. Sitting and looking at the bench shows some bench that could have made a difference here. Graham could have made a difference. And Jordan Howard, who forever remains on his bench because, as I've explained in the past, I think Devon is not here with us. But that is the result. Yeah.
He picked people up, and it was
he picked people up last week.
Yeah,
and he didn't put them in, and I think he picked somebody up this week. Did he?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later. And as for the last matchup, folks, 65-82. Big loss. 2 really big losses for Supremacy here, who's sitting at 2-4, looking to make a comeback, but now has dropped 2 in a row, I believe, or maybe even more than that. He's dropped 2 in a row, and last week he could have got me if he had Amari Cooper in, but oh well, so sad. You move on from that, and then just back to not performing again. I honestly think he has the weakest team in the league. When you look up and down this roster, Deion, what do you see? Like, what do you think?
I think defense is good in Tom Brady.
And that's it. And then Tom Brady. Well, I mean, I guess he's going to ride with that. Too bad Tom Brady is on a week 9 bye, so it's. I don't know what you're gonna do. You know, Supremacy. If you're watching this, man, I feel for you, man. Hopefully, you can try and do something to salvage the season. But can't everybody have a good season? So they're your first season in the league, man. So welcome to the league, rookie. This is how we do things, man. This is a big boy league, and it is hard. It is tough. And ESO Legends is continuing to roll. He's coming after you, Deion.
He's definitely right there. That's why I needed Supremacy to win.
And yep. It wasn't in the car. All these buys. Look at all these buys. This was the time to beat them too.
I was about to say this was it.
It was, Todd Gurley is raw. Adrian Peterson, we don't know. He had a good game, then he had it off, but he's playing San Francisco now, so it's like okay for week 9. So
exactly.
So we'll see. But ESO Legends is just sitting at 7-1. Right, he's right there. He's right there. He's trying to take over that number 1, Dan, but we'll see.
He definitely wants. He's deserving of it too, because the game we played, I only won by like probably 10. So he can play though. I can say that.
Yeah, definitely, and he's gonna be continuing to roll. That's for sure. Okie dokie, folks. We are now at the section of the show where we talk about the week's pickups, and let's look down this list. List. Alfred Morris is one of the ones. Alfred Morris and Damian Williams are looking to increase workloads. One due to trade, one due to one person might be going to prison, jail. I don't know what the hell they're going to do to Ezekiel Elliott, but they need to hurry up and figure out because it's affecting the fantasy world in a very dramatic way. And it's already been stated that Alfred Morris and McFadden and freaking whoever the third person is going to be a committee. So that's already kind of really putting me off. But Alfred Morris is going to get the start, so he'll have the first opportunity. That's why I picked him up. They do have that incredible offensive line, so I'm hoping something is done. I don't know. But now they're saying Ezekiel Elliott may not even be suspended. He's doing another appeal thing, and it's like Jesus Christ. It's like too stressful for all this. But looking up this, I think another very notable pickup. It was actually going to be Paul Richardson. Paul Richardson could be in for another decent game. He seems to be an uptick in targets and productivity over the past 2 weeks, but that doesn't mean that it's going to continue. If you're a consistent fantasy player, you see this trend every year with a player, and sometimes you fall for it and you're left in the dust with a pathetic performance. So I'd keep an eye out on him, but I have faith in him. Devontae Parker, I think. You picked up Isaiah Crowell. You want to elaborate on that pick, picking up a Browns player at this point in the season?
This is gonna sound super bad. I picked him up because I knew Gordon was going on a bye week. Come to find out, the Browns were on a bye week too. So I was like, perfect.
I was gonna say, yeah, sometimes even the best of us get caught slipping, but
swing and you miss.
But there's not as much action as there has been in the past few weeks. ESO Legends does have Devin Funchess. I'm just realizing that now. So Devin Funchess has automatically become a number 1 option in that Carolina, which is great. That just is excellent. It's not, folks. I was sarcastic. We don't need that to happen. So other than that, you picked up Larry Fitzgerald as well. Larry Fitzgerald not on a bye week. So what are you expecting from him versus San Francisco 49ers this week?
Because it's the Niners, and because basically every team that plays the Niners gets points, I'm expecting at least a solid 8-9 performance. The only difference is not Carson Palmer throwing too many more. It's Drew Stanton, and last time he was on the field, Larry Fitzgerald had 7 targets to 3 catches. So, not really sure what I'm going to get, but both receivers on a bye week, so somebody's got to perform.
And that is very true. You're going to be looking for, but you know what? I don't think it'd be the end of the world if you lost. Take an L. Take a week off there. You deserve it.
I'm going.
Been working hard. You've been working. Right? You've been working hard, and that's what we are going to get into next. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's real. I have to face the defending champ, the number one person in the league this week. Let's take a look at the matchups. My keys this week. That Kansas City and Dallas game. I think that's going to be key because we potentially both have two players in that game. I have Alex Smith and possibly Alfred Morris. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I could change that up. I have Carlos Hyde in now, which a lot of you are saying, like, even with, like that committee, I'm thinking Alfred Morris is a better bet. That's true. But if they're going to be using 3 running backs, if Ezekiel, I don't know what's happening with Ezekiel. I'm not comfortable. More than likely, it's going to be Alfred Morris. So let's say it's Alfred Morris. So with that being said, Alex Smith is going to be a very big dependent on how Kelsey and how Hunt do. So it's going to be very tricky. I need Alex Smith to pass to everyone except for Kareem Hunt and Travis Kelsey. Maybe get a little Demarcus Robinson involved. Just anybody but the Tyreek Hill. Yeah, this could be a good Tyreek Hill for him and good Tyreek Hill. Yeah, this needs to be a good Tyreek Hill. Hey. Another key matchup is we both have Miami receivers. Devontae Parker's coming back from. Devontae Parker is coming back from injury. Jarvis Landry's been playing pretty well as of late.
Not that last game.
Yep. Well, as not the last game, but going back before that, he's played pretty solidly. And I think here with that is who's going to perform better versus a suspect Oakland secondary. I think who wins that matchup is also going to be key. And honestly, the defense. Jacksonville has a great matchup, and the Rams have a great matchup versus the Giants. The difference maker to me, what I think is going to be a key difference maker, is going to be LaShawn McCoy on Thursday night, playing the New Jersey Jets, is what I like to call them, because they play in New Jersey, so New York, but New Jersey Jets. All right, sorry, Jets fans. But honestly, if I have a 20 to 21 point lead, it's more than just having a lead early on. But it's the psychological part that comes with it. Because if you go into Sunday having a big lead line, you start second guessing, you're like, okay, I need to set my thing right. And if LaShawn McCoy goes off, then I'm going to be second guessing everything because I'm going to want to make sure I have the perfect thing. I'm going to be overthinking things. And that's not a good situation that you want to put yourself in for any week, let alone when you're facing somebody of this guy's caliber, all right? So, to be honest, I need him to have a bust week. So, I really do. I need it to be bad, very bad.
Like 19 points bad?
Probably like put a 19, move that dot over, to the left.
1.9?
Yeah, 1.9. Maybe he gets
That's injury if you think about it like that.
Yeah, maybe he gets knocked out the game. He's good going forward, but he's knocked out the game.
Just next week.
This Thursday. Yeah,
Tomorrow.
concussion protocol. Concussion
total
protocol. That would just
sense.
be great.
Makes total sense.
That would be absolutely great. I know it's a scummy thing to wish an injury upon a player, but I'm trying to wish them the most messed up one, whereas he can just not play or something. I don't know, man. Something needs to happen. The Jets defense.
Just 24-hour injury. That's it. It just bounced right back.
Yeah. So what are you seeing? Are you coming in, confident to be like, I'm someone who's not doing very well in the league. Like, what are you looking at on my team? I've just explained what I'm looking at from both teams, but what are you looking at from your team to perform versus how are you looking at versus my team to perform?
In all honesty, I'm looking at Carlos Hyde against Arizona because for some reason our last time. It's not prime time, but last time they were home, they played or not the last time, but the game I can remember, the Thursday night game when they played
Rams. Yeah.
And I don't know why they showed up. So I just feel like if it's a divisional game, they show up. Even when they played Seattle, it was a close game. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why? So I'm looking at that for some reason, and Marvin Jones at Green Bay. Since Green Bay's lost Aaron Rodgers, I feel like they just fell apart. And the defense played like trash, I want to say, against New Orleans. Not to say New Orleans doesn't play good offense, but if Matt Stafford can bounce back from what he did last week on Monday, was it Monday night?
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Sunday night, yeah. If he can bounce back from that. And another thing, Ingram, because Tampa Bay's defense is looking horrible this year. They really don't look good.
Yeah, well, Ingram fumbled twice. He lost me 4 points last week, which was pretty upsetting because I don't want Sean Payton to bench him again like I think he did 2 years ago. So it was last year.
Sit him down.
So I'm scared that Ingram is just going to be He may be in the doghouse, but he's not known for fumbling. But when he has fumbled, he has been punished severely, unfortunately. Alrighty, folks, we have just explained ourselves about how we feel about our matchups. But let's take a look at some of the other matchups. This one is nothing really to talk about. This should be an easy win, and I'll explain to you guys for a little bit because Antonio Brown's on a bye, the Patriots defense on a bye, and it should be, unless there's a scary unperformance from his team again. Like a situation I had last week, this should be an easy victory for the Fundraisers, which could potentially put him in the fourth slot if this matchup goes ESO Legends way. If ESO Legends way wins, and I know Dion's not liking that idea, and the Murder Boners loses, they will drop to 4-5. ESO Legends will move on to 8-1. Which could potentially put him in first place if I were to beat Dion. So there's a lot at stake here. And Murder Burners would drop out, possibly even to 6th, not just 5th. But to look at our other matchup, which is Supremacy versus Isaiah's team. This is more unlikely to happen. I think Isaiah is going to take this one. Because he is sitting... you can look at the matchup. Look, Tom Brady is gone. The Vikings are gone. Those are his best players.
We did say that.
So, I don't know what he's going to do. He doesn't have... he's got Kirk Cousins at Seattle. Which could be, it could be something.
I mean, the rookie did get off last week.
Yeah, that's true.
But that is Houston.
So, this is a big matchup. So, assuming that both Isaiah and our commissioner Phil win, and the Murder Boners loses to ESO Legends, that would drop him all the way potentially down to 6. He'd be ahead of me because he beat me. But we could essentially have the same record after this week. And, Isaiah and the Fundraisers could be on to 5-4 fighting for that 4th spot. When we look at Dabalas and Never Bowing Down, this is also should be a pretty easy win for Solomon here. He's sitting at 3. I think he's going to continue to sit at 3 for now. But people are coming for him. People are coming for those bottom 2 spots. That's definitely for sure. But there's no Gillislee, but Gillislee is useless anyways. For a while, people thought Gillislee was going to be the next, LeGarrette Blount for them. He scored 4 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. And then he's disappeared since. But that's the Patriots running back for you, so it's your own fault if you fell for that trap. I'm just being real. But we look at the matchups here. It's looking oddly favorable for Never Bowing Down here. But there's a lot of interesting scenarios here. And it could drastically shake up the league if certain people win and lose. There could be some changes in the standings, folks. Some significant changes in the standings.
Big one.
So how do you see this week going forward?
Well, I truly, I don't know. Because I do feel like, besides our matchup, because it's going to be the game of the week, but other than our matchup, I feel like Phil should win that one. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping Murder Boners win theirs. Mm-hmm. And then Isaiah should win his, but I'm not for certain. And then if Never Bowing Down wins, which should happen, then the standings are going how they were, and then I'll be alone at the... Well, we'll see with us. We'll see with us. But then if then I'll be alone with only one loss. And if you win, you basically came from the bottom.
Yeah, but I'll still be there because other teams are winning.
No, but you'll be in the thick of it, though. Like, it'll still be there. Yeah.
For you just basically, if everybody could lose, that'd be great. Like, everybody except for you. That's basically what you would want to happen.
Everybody tied. That's fine. Don't take an L, just take a tie. Yeah. It makes total sense to me.
But for me, I don't think we've never seen that before. I said we have
not.
Yeah, we have not seen that. I feel like it's gonna happen one season. Don't know when. Can't call that. But I feel like it's gonna happen some weird way soon. And now I've spoken it into existence. It's got to happen soon.
Please not to me.
But what I desperately need is I need the Kid Got Next to win. I need ESO Legends to win. I need Supremacy to win. If that's the case, then I am in a 4-way tie for 4 and 5, and for that 4 seed. If I win, so that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping on a lot. That's 3 matchups that I need 4 matchups that I need to win, including my own, which is a lot here, folks, because as you guys can see, based on the matchups we just went over, there's a lot at stake here for me personally. I'm getting a little bit personal now with myself, but there's a lot at stake for me. I need 4 victories, so I need myself to win. Like I said, need myself to win. I need the Kid Got Next, Murder Boners, and Supremacy all to come away with victories. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I really don't know.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. As long as there's a chance, I'm going to be hoping. And so I'm going to be hoping and praying this weekend. All right, folks. So that is it, folks. That is it. That is all we have for you this week. Tune in next week, and we will have the show. The show premieres once every week, folks, unless something happens, which it did last week, which is why I had 2 shows. But that's something that not happens often on this channel. And hopefully we'll have another guest, possibly the same guest. You never know. It's good to have guests on the show because, like I said earlier in the season, I like to bring the perspectives of other people on the show, the perspective from people sitting at the bottom all the way to the shining top and all the way, in between. It's good to get perspective so you guys can see what a clear-cut, competitive and intense league that this is. So let me know what you folks think about this week. How are you doing personally in your fantasy league, if you're doing anything? And who are you rooting for here? Do you want things to shake up a little bit? Because things can shake up. If what I prophesy, I'm calling it now, if what I prophesize comes to pass, things will be shaking all the way up, kind of like they were last year. But it was at the end. We're only halfway through. Shit's about to hit the fan. It's about to get real. Halfway through, and all this craziness has already popped up. So once again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're also new here and you want to join, click that subscribe button as well. And thank you to my guest, Dion, for being on the show. Glad to get you back on here. We haven't had you all year. And, we had you for the promos, but, it's the first time we were able to get you on the year. And hopefully we see a bunch more of this guy. I love having him on the show.
Glad to be back. Yeah.
So, absolutely. So, with that being said, folks, I'm going to go prepare for this week. I'm going to go stress about Thursday. Depending on what day you're watching this on, I could already be in a stress-induced coma, depending on how LeSean McCoy does. So, hopefully, LeSean McCoy, doesn't do as well as I'm fearing that he's going to do. Yeah, let's go with that. So, with that said, folks, I will see you all in the next video. Until then, I'm Demetrius Mack, and we are out. Peace.